Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to go over the character review for beta. As usual, we're going to talk about how good using it is, whether you should pull for him or not, and we're going to have a quick look at the basics of his kit, his investment, and also the teams that you can play him in. So that's the plan. We're going to start with the first point. So how good is beta? I will say that beta is a really good stall tank and grouper at zero dupes. He has most of his utility already at zero dupes. You don't really need to invest in him. If you try to invest in him, is only to give him more damage. But we're going to talk about that in a second. So talking about zero dupes beta, I'm really happy about him. I think his grouping is decent. It's not going to work on enemies that have a teleport or very quick dashes. It's only going to work on standard enemies that move normally. So yeah, if you try to use purple endorsing in the past, it basically has the same grouping as her. It is decent, not insane, not foolproof, but it is pretty good. And also its durability is guaranteed for at the very least 10 seconds. If you decide to run a Bari, that's a bit more. It's like 12 seconds at the very least. So that's good. And if you have a really strong DPS that can kill an enemy within the first 10, 12 seconds, then it's going to last even longer. And that's good, I think. I really like his utility, and for that reason, I would never give him less than S rank, regardless of the deficit for just the utility alone. And I will give him that rank directly at zero dupes. It doesn't need anything really. If you invest in him, as I was saying before, it gains some damage, and it's a lot of damage, but it cannot be played as a main DPS that reliably because it's basically playing on a timer. If you cannot get kills within 10 seconds, he's as good as that. So I don't like it about like I don't like that. I don't like that. I think it works at very low deficits. It can one-shot enemies, so no problem. There will still be some teams that you cannot one shot, so you're kind of screwed at that point. But if the deficit is low enough and the enemies are of the kind that you can one shot, then amazing. But at higher deficits, you cannot really do that reliably. He cannot do it on his own. I think he's not a main DPS type of unit. But you can use him as a sub DPS if you want to. I think that's totally reasonable. And I think his best use case at max investment is going to be paired with a Gustan, so that Gustan can deal his 60% max HP damage on an AoE, and Beta can hopefully finish off the enemies. So that's okay, but I don't know. Really not a fan of max investment Beta. There are some other ways to make it work. You can play with other DPS units, sure, no problem. I don't think it's worth the effort though. I think it's really not. So should you pull for beta or not? I don't think so. I mean, getting zero dupes is fine, but I wouldn't pull him to just get one copy. I think you can wait for him to appear in the purple gem shop for 14 purple gems, or you can wait to get him from an SSR Plus shard, or you can use an SSR Plus box if you really want to, but I don't recommend it. Or you can wait for him to be added in the normal banner, and then you can get him from the 200 PT. And yeah, you can get him, but don't pull for him. That's my recommendation, because we are so close to anniversary that wasting up to 100 tickets if you're unlucky might be a bit too much. There are definitely better ways to spend your black market tickets. So don't do it. Just get him by some other means. That's my recommendation for that. And yeah, enough about this part. We can quickly go through the kit. Then we can also look at ignition weapon, investment, etc. So for the kit, the most important part will be the passive. This is what is going to give him the 10 seconds survivability. So when he reaches 1 HP, he's going to remove all debuffs and enter his maximum output state for 10 seconds. When he's in this state, his HP is fixed at 1, which is important for his special move damage, but we don't really care about that right now. And whenever he hits an enemy with a skill, he's going to instantly destroy a barrier and deal additional damage. So that's pretty solid. And if you get an assist in that duration while he's in that state, the duration is going to be increased by 5 seconds. So that's why, as a main DPS, it kind of struggles because you're playing on a timer. You want to get a kill within 10 seconds or you are fucked. So that's not good. As a sub DPS, as I was saying, or as a stall tank, it's okay because you rely on another DPS that might have better means to achieve that. So that's good. But yeah, you will trigger it a lot of times, but not with Bat alone, I think, unless you really give him a lot of good supports. But it's not really worth it from my point of view. Still, this is a really decent passive, and you can extend the duration of his immortality for up to like 20 additional seconds because you can only proc it 4 times. The fifth one, you have won the match, so it doesn't really matter. It also triggers when you kill a summoned being, actually. So it is fine, I guess, but I never really used it much against Gustang and other units that summon, so I cannot say how good that is. But it's okay, it's decent, it's definitely appreciated, so we can say that. Okay, then he has the first active skill, that is the one that does the grouping, because when the fight starts, he's going to teleport to the enemy with the lowest defense and knock them down for 4 seconds, which is going to be important when we talk about ignition weapons, but for now, let's just ignore that, so that's okay. He also cannot be interrupted while using the skill, fine. The second active skill is going to give him Magic Pierce. We don't care for a 0 dupes beta, but definitely important for a maxed out one. And then he's going to pull enemies in range, but the grouping, again, kinda weak. I wouldn't really consider it a great grouping. And that's it. That's all that this skill does. Then we have the special move. The special move is going to turn Beta invincible, and then is going to basically deal an AoE attack 3 times. That is going to deal a fair amount of damage, and also send enemies airborne for 4 seconds. The duration is pretty long, so not bad. And the important thing is that for every 1% HP that is missing, is going to increase his own attack by 4%, which means up to 400% attack increase. That's a good amount. And also it cannot be removed with buff removal skills, but this is only trigger while he's in the air. He's already invincible, so it was kind of hard already to remove his buffs, but still decent to have. So that's all that this kit does. It's pretty basic, pretty straightforward, not bad. Then if we look at the exotic equipment, it gets critical damage, fine. It gets additional 20% magic pierce, so it goes from 40 to 60. Then we have magic resistance of enemies hit by this teleport skill are going to be decreased by 40% for 10 seconds. Fine, nothing insane. Then we have level 3 that is going to recover 100 energy per second while in its maximum output state. I think this is kind of bugged. I don't know, because it didn't feel so quick at generating energy, to be honest. But maybe it's just that 100 every second like doesn't really seem to be much. I don't know, but it didn't sound like it sounded like a great thing, but in practice felt weird. But yeah, there is that. Definitely good. So okay. And he's also immune to status effects while in his maximum output state. So that's also really, really good. Then we have the Revolution. Revolution is also pretty solid for DPS beta. We have Revolution 4 that is going to additionally give a 1.5% special move pierce for every 1% HP loss. So that's up to 150% special move pierce. That's a really good number. It also cannot be removed with buff removal skills, but that's okay. And then we have for Evolution 5 a 30% attack increase while is in the passive state for up to maximum of 10 stacks. So 300% attack after 10 seconds and cannot be removed with buff removal skills. Pretty good, I would say. I think Revolution 4 is better, but definitely a good Revolution 5 to have. And that's it. Super simple, only damage. Again, just go for that if you want to build him as a main DPS, but I don't really recommend it that much. Let me also remove this that appeared on the screen. Okay, closed it. And yeah, now we can quickly talk about the ignition weapon. And it will feel a bit weird, maybe, I assigned idea as the best in slot. The reason for that is that you can quickly cast two special moves, and that's most of his damage. But again, this is only for maxed out beta. If beta is not maxed out, as I wrote also here, I would run Barry to extend the duration that he can stall for by 2 seconds, basically. It will have 2 seconds, then it will be invincible thanks to Barry. Then the passive will proc and it will be invincible for 10 more seconds. So that's one thing. I think Barry is perfectly fine for Zero Dupes beta. But if you have a maxed out beta, I think Idea is better. So you can cast two special moves quickly, and hopefully you can extend your passive that way. So that's the whole plan. It should work fine. I tried it out. It was okay at times, but as I said, I'm not a fan of a maxed out beta, so whatever. The other option would be Rayana. You're going to increase the damage that the first attack does, so the teleport. The issue with that is that Rayana silences for 3 seconds, but you have a 4-second knockdown on that skill. So silence and knockdown kind of overlap, and unless the enemy you are hitting is immune to knockdown or status effects in general, then the silence will be kind of irrelevant. Well, if they're immune to all status effects, then also the silence is kind of irrelevant. But yeah, you get what I mean. I don't think the damage from the first hit is going to be relevant enough, so Rayana is kind of wasted, I would say. You can totally run it, but I don't really like it. So yeah, those are the options. Again, Barry for a zero dupes beta, Idea for a maxed out one. I think those are really the only options. Then in terms of investment, let's have a quick look. We have here the mandatory one that is zero dupes, plus 30 because the status effect immunity is pretty decent. And then in terms of gear, you don't want to level up anything. In terms of ignition weapon, you don't really need to level up anything. Just 4-piece Barry without any kind of effect, it will be totally fine. And yeah, for the recommended tier, I go straight to Rainbow 5. I don't think it makes sense to stop in between. It will do the exact same thing, so it doesn't matter. Maybe Orange 4, but at that point, just go straight to Rainbow 5. It makes no sense to stop there. And here, it will gain some damage. It will be better at like lower deficits, but like not really by that much. In the gear, you definitely want to level slot 2 for the additional crit damage. And then ignition weapon, you want to go for something more offensive with magic pierce, crit damage, and stuff like that. So really offensive stats. You go full damage, no resistances, no nothing. Literally full damage. And then for evolution, here we basically have to invest on a lot of things. We have accuracy if needed, critical hit rate up to the amount that you need to get 100%, attack, crit damage, and effect hit if you want, just to apply the magic resistance decrease and also the various status effects that he has. But yeah, that's basically the investment. If we go in the nice to have, I increased it to tier 6, so Revolution 6, and then you get also the bonus elimination energy. I'm not a fan of that. Normally, I don't really like it. But if you're going for a main DPS beta, considering how short you have of a timer, you definitely need to be spamming special moves. So when you get a kill, you get the energy, and you get another special move in, which is super buffed when he's in the passive state, because he has the 150% special move pierce and the 400% attack increase. So lots of stuff, plus the 300% again from Revolution 5. So a lot of attack buff, a lot of special move pierce, lots of damage. And you can try to spam the special move as much as you can. So on him, bonus elimination energy is fine. I'm not a big fan of that, so leave it for last. But yeah, definitely something that you can do as the nice to have. The rest is basically the same. So yeah, that's all for investment. I think we can also quickly mention some team building tips. So as usual, in this section, we have information on what this unit provides. So stall tank capabilities, early grouping, barrier break, and damage if maxed. And what it needs from the team is just energy if you're using him as a DPS so that it can, again, hopefully get some kills with his special move that is most of his damage. Defense decrease because he's an attack scaling DPS, so he definitely wants that. Red element resistance decrease. I don't normally write that on most units, but since we already have Evankel that has it and Cherry that has it, and also 003, those are all really important buffs for him, so that's really good. Then we have HP recovery block because you don't want to be spamming special moves on somebody that is getting healed all the time. Extra damage, which means attack buff, pierce, or resistance decrease on the enemies, whatever it is, will be fine. Extra grouping because he has, again, kind of a weak grouping at first. If an enemy has a teleport or something, they will just move away. So you definitely want somebody to group enemies up, and then you can hit all of them with a special move. The enemies you should avoid are enemies that teleport to your team. So again, Michael or Misang depends on where she's positioned, but she could be a problem. Or White or I Spear Konagero, those kind of enemies. And units that are hard to execute because of invisibility or immortality, those should also be avoided if you're going for DPS beta. And the enemies that this guy is good against is basically anybody that it can get rid of quickly. So if you can kill them in the first 10 seconds, they are good teams to use beta against. So if they don't have any healers, if they're units that don't have invincibility, they don't have immortality, they don't have anything like that, then you can use beta and it will be fine. Then we have some unit synergies here. We have Elite Spy Shia for the defense decrease and buff removal on enemies. She also has an attack buff and also a link that is connecting beta to the enemies because she links the enemy with the lowest HP and beta has 1 HP for all the fight basically. So that's quite decent. The healing won't work, at least the damage redirection will. So that's okay. Then we have Gustang. Obviously, they work well because Gustang can just destroy the enemies super quickly and extend the duration of Beta's passive. But in this case, Beta will just be, again, mostly a stall tank. Then we have 003. She's great if you're using Beta as a DPS because she provides a lot of useful stuff like defense decrease, red element resistance decrease, and an attack buff. Really, really good. Nare is also good for energy and the debuffs on the enemies like defense decrease and resistance decrease. Pretty okay. And also the extra ability, but that doesn't really matter because he's already mortal, so whatever. But the energy is definitely a really important point. Anak is also great for the defense decrease, swiftness decrease, but I didn't mention it, it doesn't really matter too much. And HP recovery block, so really, really good stuff. Cherry is also a great support or sub DPS for a main DPS beta because she has the red element resistance decrease. She gives swiftness to beta. She gives also attack to beta, and she also deals a lot of damage, which helps beta executing enemies. So all in all, Cherry and beta are a good pair. But yeah, those are just some of them. You can definitely use also units like Albelda, or units like Alfine if you want to. There are a lot of other options, but these are just some of those that are maybe more common, let's say. You can also use beta in a like Eljo team and use Eljo as another sort of bursty DPS unit that will help beta execute them. Kind of up to you, but yeah, these are just some basics. Now for the teams, we have a monocolor team, and in this one I tried to put Beta as the main DPS, so there is no Gustang here. But we have Beta, Awakened Rock, just to have a frontline unit. It could have been Evankel, it could have been maybe Jinsung, not so sure. But yeah, this is just a guy that survives, that's it. Then we have Anak, that's kind of important to provide energy to Beta so that he can spam the special move a bit more. It's a bit maybe like the synergy is not the best, if we can say that, because she gives immortality to the target, and that will prevent Beta from getting in the passive state, which means his special move will deal less damage. So there is that to consider, but it's definitely good, like a good trade-off, because he will definitely enter the passive. Like it's just delaying by like 3 seconds when he's going to start entering the passive. And then she's just going to provide a lot of energy to him, which is decent. We have Shia for extra energy and extra attack to red element units, but on a mandatory pick, you can use anybody else. And we have Cherry for the extra attack, red element resistance decrease, and also the swiftness that she provides at the start of the battle. So pretty good, really solid unit. And yeah, this is a basic team. Should work. Not the biggest fan of it, but it's okay. Then for the multicolor team, we have Nare to provide, again, the extra energy. We have Reflejo plus Irang that are a great combination in like most of the team. She's really, really good at grouping, and Reflejo can reduce the energy of the enemies and knock them up while they're all grouped up, and Beta will just destroy them with the special move. We also have 003 for, again, the defense decrease, the attack buff, and the red element resistance decrease. If you don't have 003, just use Cherry Line instead, and it will be perfectly fine. This team is lacking a bit in survivability. We're relying on the fact that Iran just needs to use the special move one time, and Bari will help with that. Reflejo will survive on his own, no problem. Beta has the passive that will keep him alive, and 003 also has the special move that keeps her alive while she's using it. So all things considered, survivability-wise, they should be fine. And yeah, that was all, guys, for the character review. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, any doubts, anything you don't agree with. Again, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!